I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I've received since I became president. In fact, I received them a couple of weeks before I became the president when I arrived in DeLand on June 15th. The first is, this is actually a pinch front Stetson hat, among my most cherished possessions at the moment, and I liked it so much that I scoured the internet to find something similar that I could put at 418 North Woodland Boulevard, which is the president's home at Stetson University. And I was able to, through my searching, find really a pretty extraordinary Stetson hat, also a pitch front. It was created by an artist in the United Kingdom, Mark Bray, and I know for sure this is going to bring us good luck throughout this academic year. Pope Duncan was Stetson's 7th president and served from 1977 to 1987, and he was also a faculty member in religion. And one of the wonderful things that President Emerita Wendy Libby left me in the president's home at 418 North Woodland was a book. And it was a book by Pope Duncan called Memoirs of a Peripatetic Educator. And I quote from Duncan, "I have frequently made the statement that any president is going to have one or more crises each year that will absorb her or his time for days and even weeks. It may not be a crisis that shakes the very foundation of the institution, but it is one, for the president, that becomes a major time consumer and wrings out energy. If you do not have that crisis in the fall, you had better be prepared, for it is going to come before the academic year is out." Duncan was referring to the year 1981, 1982, and I thought you might be interested to learn what those crises were. The first were ongoing philosophical and financial disputes between the Florida Baptist Convention and Stetson University. And the second involved allegations that the director of facilities operations was taking kickbacks from contractors working on campus building projects. I'm so very happy to tell you that neither of these crises is an issue for Stetson University as we enter the 2021 academic year. However, throughout all of my many conversations with faculty, staff, students, community partners, alumni, the Board of Trustees, I have in fact described our current context as presenting a once-in-a-century set of challenges and opportunities. In meeting these challenges and taking advantage of the opportunities that lie in front of us, I would again like to draw from the words and wisdom of childhood educator and television personality Fred Rogers, who has famously declared 3 ways to ultimate success. The first way is to be kind, the second way is to be kind, and the third way to ultimate success is to be kind. Again, drawing from Rogers, I spoke from this very podium back in November 21st, 2019, during my initial introduction to the Stetson University community as your 10th president, and I uttered the following words: "Kindness not only matters, it enables us to listen, to engage with others unlike ourselves, and to consider paths we can forge together to make our community, in fact the world, a better place." As I reflect back on that day, on November 21st, 2019, the U.S. House of Representatives was conducting impeachment hearings. As a country, we were continuing to struggle to have socio-political discourse that could move us forward. On that date back in November, we were challenged to find common ground on issues of identity, of inclusion, and even on scientific evidence related to climate change. For those doing the math, that was 265 days ago. And since that time, much has happened globally, nationally, in Florida, and in our communities. The aforementioned socio-political division is frankly the deepest I have experienced in my lifetime. Several incidents of racial injustice have stimulated critical and ongoing debates about policing, about equality, and even about the American dream. The coronavirus has produced a global pandemic, the likes of which the world has not experienced since 1918. And just last week, Canada's last intact Arctic shelf collapsed. with a chunk of ice larger than the size of Manhattan plunging into the ocean. My intent today is not to paint a picture of doom and gloom. Rather, it is to assert that these global challenges require us to study, to analyze, to debate, to question, to engage, and to learn. I want to further assert that there is no better place to do these things than in DeLand and in Gulfport and at Stetson University. There is no better place to analyze, debate, question, engage, learn than at Stetson University. Why? Because Stetson University is a place where learning and values meet. Stetson University is a place where our students, our staff, our faculty, our community do not shy away from challenges. We meet these challenges head on, and this year, I've engaged our community with 3 words to reflect upon that I hope will guide us moving forward: kindness, empathy, and agency. Kindness, the quality of being friendly, generous, and considerate. And if you agree with me and you agree with Fred Rogers, is the key to ultimate success. Empathy, the ability to understand and share the feelings of another. Agency, the degree to which an individual has the ability to make decisions about her or his life. Throughout my much accelerated listening and learning tour, which has included virtual and in-person gatherings with student leadership, staff advisory councils, local government officials, members of the Board of Trustees, and our alumni at both the College of Law and here at the DeLand campus, I have been emphasizing these 3 themes: kindness, empathy, agency. Our current context demands that each and every one of us demonstrate kindness. We must be able to empathize with each and every member of our community who may be encountering challenges unlike our own, some of them perhaps even hidden. And we must have agency in order to engage in self-care, to use good judgment, and to do whatever we can to promote our own health and safety and the health and safety of others. I am absolutely convinced that the schools, human service organizations, institutions of faith, small and large businesses, and institutions of higher education that practice kindness, empathy, and agency will be the ones that emerge from this once-in-a-century set of challenges stronger and more resilient than they were before. There's that word again, resilient. My confidence in Stetson has been reaffirmed by what I have learned in my much accelerated listening and learning tour. I have learned that Stetson is not only kind, it is a resourceful, creative, and hardworking community. In fact, I have been known to affectionately describe Stetson as both scrappy and tenacious. Throughout my experience as a collegiate athlete, I was always most fond of my teammates that were described as scrappy, often the hardest working ball players who hustled on every play, would dive for loose balls, and would always get the most out of their abilities. They also made all their teammates better, never worrying about who got the credit for the team's success. It was always, for the scrappy ones, all about the team. I also love my tenacious teammates, those that never gave up, often immersing themselves in the toughest defensive assignments, going up against a bigger or stronger opponent, doing a lot of the dirty work that was necessary to lead the team to victory. For those that are scrappy and tenacious, it really is all about the team. It is with all humility and with the sincerest of self-reflection that I and the teammates I've had over the many years consider your president, Chris Roellke, number 10, to be both scrappy and tenacious. And in my early days at Stetson, I have listened and learned that our beloved Hatter community absolutely shares these characteristics, and I love that. Not only do I love that, but we also need these characteristics in these challenging times. When something is not right, Hatters fix it. When we stray from our stated mission and goals, we remedy that with all deliberate speed. When we observe or experience racial injustice, we work diligently to eradicate it. When our community hurts, we figure out ways together to heal. When confronted with a global pandemic, we innovate, we clean, we install ventilation, we clean again. We are respectful of the most vulnerable. We wear masks. We physically distance ourselves. We wash our hands multiple times a day and for at least 20 seconds. We limit our group size. We move to single occupancy residential rooms. We innovate. We modify our curriculum in short order to meet the contemporary demands of our society and of our community, and we look out for and we care for each other. We do practice kindness, we do practice empathy, and we do practice agency. Why? Because education is absolutely essential, and we are Stetson University. I would like to conclude with some modest but I think important advice for our incoming Stetson students, and welcome to Stetson University. First, figure out a way to do laundry and to do it efficiently and regularly, especially this year, as you will want your face masks to be clean and fresh. Find out where you work best: library, tents outside, dorm room, the cub. Stick with what works and stick with what can be done in a physically distant manner. This one won't be easy, but it is important. Meet and interact with people unlike yourself. Your opinions and your opportunities will be broadened. Be sensible, be safe, and take it upon yourself to make sure your classmates do the same. Again, kindness not only matters, it enables us to listen, to engage with others unlike ourselves, and to consider paths we can forge together to make our community, in fact the world, a better place. Stay safe, stay well, and stay engaged. Go Hatters.